Did you know that up to 90% of native speakers can instantly tell you are a non-native speaker just from the first 3 words of your greeting?
Wow, 90%. That is, that's almost everybody. Just from 3 words.
It's just 3 words. And what if I told you that nearly 100% of traditional textbooks contain phrases that honestly haven't been used naturally in over 5 decades?
Oh, I totally believe that. It's a huge problem.
Right. So today, you will learn how to completely overhaul your spoken English to sound natural, modern, and perfectly fluent. We are doing a deep dive into the source material on this.
Exactly. It's going to be packed with actionable stuff.
Yeah, we're going to master 4 essential phrasal verbs, discover 2 major mindset shifts for natural speaking, and all of this leads up to the total 7 specific things native speakers never actually say.
I love that we are putting exact numbers on this. It gives you a real roadmap.
It really does. So welcome to your English learning podcast for daily life, real conversation, and easy listening practice.
And we are so glad you're here with us. We are really speaking directly to you today, especially if you are, at that B2 upper intermediate level, looking to finally break through that frustrating intermediate plateau.
That plateau is the worst.
It really is. Or, hey, maybe you're a C1 advanced learner wanting to polish your authentic conversational flow. You already have the foundation. You understand the grammar. Now it's time to master the reality of the language.
Spot on. Our mission is to motivate you, to inspire you to step away from the textbook and get you actually speaking out loud with us today. You're going to practice right alongside us.
Yes, active practice is key.
Okay, let's unpack this right away. We have an incredible deep dive today. Why is it that we spend years in school sitting at desks, memorizing these long lists of vocabulary and dialogue structures, only to step off a plane in London or New York and realize that literally nobody on the street is speaking the language we just spent 5 years studying?
It's completely baffling for learners. It feels almost like a betrayal by the education system.
A betrayal. That is exactly what it feels like.
But there is a very logical reason for it. It is believed by prominent linguists, like David Crystal, that language evolves way faster than printed textbooks can possibly keep up with.
Right, because printing a book takes forever.
Exactly. Think about the physical process. A curriculum has to be written, peer-reviewed, approved by boards, edited, printed, and then finally shipped. By the time that physical book lands on your desk, maybe 5 or 10 years have passed.
Wow, 10 years.
Yeah. The spoken language has already moved on. What's fascinating here is that written English and spoken English are practically 2 different dialects.
2 different dialects. I love that perspective. It really takes the pressure off you as the learner. You didn't learn bad English, you just learned the English of the printing press, not the English of the coffee shop.
That's a perfect way to put it.
So this raises a question. Are you unknowingly greeting people like a 19th century aristocrat? Let's find out. We're moving right into the very first thing you say when you meet someone.
Greetings. They are so important. They set the whole tone for the conversation.
They really do. And the biggest trap, the one stamped on page 1 of every beginner book, is how do you do?
Oh no. The classic how do you do?
I have to be honest, whenever I hear a learner say this, I immediately picture them wearing a top hat and a monocle. It's so awkward today.
It is incredibly awkward. And this brings us to a fantastic B2 level vocabulary word that perfectly describes this situation, which is peculiar.
Peculiar, that's a great word.
Yeah, so when something is peculiar, it means it's strange or unusual, often in a way that is slightly surprising or even unsettling.
Right, like let me give you an example sentence. It sounds a bit peculiar when a teenager uses outdated slang.
Exactly. If a teenager walks up and says, "Greetings, fellow citizen," that is highly peculiar. It doesn't match the expectation.
It really doesn't. And if we want to elevate our vocabulary even further to the C1 level, we can use the word archaic.
Archaic. I use that one all the time when talking about textbooks.
Me too. Archaic means very old or old-fashioned, like belonging to an entirely different period in history. For example, the museum was filled with archaic farming tools.
That's a great example sentence. The phrase, how do you do, is practically an archaic greeting in the 21st century.
Totally. So if it is archaic and peculiar, we need a phrasal verb to tell you what to do about it. You need to stay away from this phrase.
Stay away from, yes.
To stay away from means to avoid something completely. For example, you should stay away from using how do you do in casual settings. Just avoid it.
Eliminate it entirely. But, if it's so archaic, why did it ever exist?
Yeah, what was the point of it?
Well, historically, in Victorian England, how do you do was not a question at all. It was a statement of class and status. It was a vocalization meant to establish social atmosphere, not exchange actual information.
Wait, really? It wasn't a real question.
Not at all. You weren't supposed to answer it with a list of your problems. If someone said, "How do you do?" The only correct response was to repeat it right back. "How do you do?"
That is wild. It's just a verbal handshake.
Exactly. But modern English culture has become highly egalitarian and casual. We value efficiency and friendliness over rigid class structures. So the language shifted.
Okay, so if we need to stay away from the aristocrat greeting, what are the modern alternatives? What should you actually say?
Keep it simple. How's it going? It's incredibly smooth.
Right.
Or just, how are you? That is always safe and polite. And if you're with friends, what's up? Works perfectly.
How's it going is definitely my go-to. But that leads us to the second half of this trap, the robotic response.
Oh boy, here we go.
Let's say you successfully ask, how are you? The textbook has trained learners to respond with this unbreakable sequence of words. I'm fine, thank you, and you.
The robot script.
It is. It's so robotic. It feels like a non-player character in a video game. You know, an NPC. You press a button and they just repeat, I'm fine, thank you, and you. It lacks all human warmth.
That analogy is so accurate, it feels programmed. And what's fascinating is the cultural nuance here. In English, it is actually highly uncommon to thank someone immediately after they ask how you are.
It really breaks the natural rhythm, doesn't it?
It does. It brings the conversation to a complete halt. And let's look at a great B2 level word here, occurrence. An occurrence is simply something that happens, an event.
Great, an occurrence.
We can say that thanking someone for asking how you are is just not a common occurrence in everyday spoken English.
It's just not a common occurrence. So how do we break the robot programming? What are the alternatives?
Just say, I'm good or I'm great. And if you want to return the question, just ask, how about you? Or even simpler, just you.
I'm good, you. It's so fast. It's so efficient. No robots allowed. So if we've fixed the way you say hello, what about the grammar ghost haunting your vocabulary? The next word we're discussing might be making you sound a little too smart for your own good. But hey, quick pause. We are about 10 minutes into this deep dive. If you are enjoying this real English practice so far, please take a second to like, share, and subscribe.
Yes, please do. It really helps us keep bringing you these daily life conversations.
All right, let's get into segment 2, the grammar ghosts. We just fixed the social conventions of greetings. Now we transition to the structural grammar rules that textbooks prioritize, but native speakers just completely ignore.
Grammar ghost is such a great term. These are rules that died a long time ago in spoken English, but their spirits are still haunting classrooms everywhere.
And the biggest ghost of them all has to be the word shall.
Oh, absolutely, shall.
Textbooks teach shall as the future tense for I and we, like I shall go or we shall eat. But honestly, nobody uses it unless they are a fantasy movie villain.
A fantasy villain? That's exactly how it sounds. I shall conquer the world.
Right. Or a knight in shining armor. If a friend tells me I shall go to the grocery store, I'm expecting them to take a sword with them.
It's so theatrical. If we connect this to the bigger picture, English is simplifying its modals. For the future tense, will or be going to are the only practical choices now.
So what happened to shall? Let's use a C1 phrasal verb here, phase out.
Phase out, yes.
Yeah.
To gradually stop using something.
Right. You could say native speakers have phased out the word shall. They just slowly stopped using it over the decades.
They really have. Even for suggestions, should has completely replaced it. Textbooks say, shall we leave a comment? But native speakers say, we should leave a comment.
Should we get pizza? Should we watch a movie? It's just easier.
Wait, there is one tiny exception though, right?
Oh, you mean legal documents?
Yeah, legalese. You'll still see shall in contracts, like the tenant shall pay a rent. But that's a fossilized register of the language. You don't speak to your friends like a lawyer.
Definitely not. Okay, here is where it gets really interesting. The who versus whom debate.
Oh, this one causes so many arguments, even among native speakers.
It really does. Grammar books insist on whom for objects. They teach you to say, whom should we ask?
Which is technically grammatically correct according to the old rules.
But imagine speaking like this in a coffee shop. You find a lost wallet, hold it up and yell, to whom does this belong? It sounds completely absurd.
It does. People would stare at you. And this brings up a linguistic concept called hypercorrection.
Hypercorrection. Tell us about that.
It's when people try so hard to sound grammatically perfect, usually to sound smart or formal, that they end up sounding completely unnatural. They force whom into sentences where it just ruins the conversational flow.
It really does create a social barrier. It feels very cold.
Let's use a B2 vocabulary word here, overtake. To overtake means to become greater or more successful than something else.
Like a car overtaking another car on the highway.
Exactly. So we can say the word who has completely overtaken whom in modern speech.
It has absolutely overtaken it. So instead of whom should we ask, what do we say?
We just say, who should we ask? Simple.
But wait, textbooks also teach that crazy preposition rule. The rule says you can never end a sentence with a preposition. So you're supposed to say, to whom would you like to speak?
Which sounds like an automated customer service menu. To whom would you like to speak? Press 1.
Yes. Native speakers completely break this rule. So what do they actually say?
They throw the preposition at the very end of the sentence and use who. So they say, who would you like to speak to?
Who would you like to speak to? It ends with to, which breaks the preposition rule, and it uses who instead of whom, breaking the object rule.
It breaks 2 rules at once, but it's the only way to sound natural.
I love that. We've busted the grammar myths, but what happens when native speakers decide they're just too lazy to say all the letters in a word? We're diving into the speed of sound next.
This is a great transition. Grammar dictates the rules of words, but contractions dictate the actual physical rhythm of how those words leave our mouths.
The physical rhythm. This is huge. Let's talk about the unnatural sound of full forms.
Full forms, like saying every single word clearly.
Right. Take phrases like, I am going to or I do not like. When read on paper, they are totally fine. But when spoken aloud in a casual conversation, they sound extremely stilted.
Very stilted. If you say, I am going to go to the store because I do not like this, you sound like a robot again.
It's that NPC energy. And this brings up some important vocabulary. Let's look at the B2 word identify. It means to recognize something.
Yes, to identify. And let's pair that with the C1 word comprehension. Comprehension is the ability to understand completely.
So how do those fit into this?
Well, being able to identify contractions in fast speech massively boosts your listening comprehension.
That is so true because contractions speed up the language. There's a great phrasal verb. Speed up to go faster. Contractions speed up the rhythm.
They really do. I am going to speeds up and becomes I'm gonna.
This raises an important question, though. Why do learners avoid contractions? They learn them in class, but they refuse to use them.
It's fear. Learners are afraid of making mistakes. Full forms feel safe. But using I'm and don't is the absolute key to unlocking English fluidity. Connected speech is how you blend in.
I want to challenge you, the listener, right now. The next time you have a conversation with a native speaker or watch a TV show, count how many full forms are used versus contractions. I guarantee the contractions will win by a landslide.
Absolutely. It's how real people talk.
Now that you have the speed and the grammar, what do you actually talk about? If you think talking about the rain is a safe bet, you might be killing the conversation before it starts.
Oh, this is the small talk myth. We are moving from the mechanics of speaking to the actual content.
Right, the trap of how's the weather.
It's the ultimate trap.
I get why it happens. Weather vocabulary is taught on day one, but asking how's the weather randomly makes for an incredibly boring artificial conversation.
It's so boring. Unless there is a torrential downpour or an extreme heat wave, weather is a conversation killer.
It really is. You asked about the weather, they say it's sunny, and then just dead silence.
The goal of small talk isn't to report the weather. The goal is to build rapport. As a C1 word, rapport means a good understanding of someone and the ability to communicate well, a connection.
You cannot build rapport talking about a partly cloudy sky.
You really can't. So the alternative strategy is to ask about interests. What books are you interested in reading? Or what activities are you interested in doing?
That is so much better, but sometimes people just throw the weather at you and you have to deal with it. So we are going to do an interactive role play exercise right now to practice natural conversational pivoting.
Pivoting is such an important skill, moving away from the weather into a real topic.
Okay, listener, listen closely. We're going to do a quick role play. I will be your partner. I will say a phrase, and I will leave a pause break for you to repeat natural response out loud. Ready? Speak out loud wherever you are.
Don't be shy, do it.
All right, here is my complaint about the weather. Man, it is raining really hard out there. Okay, now I'm leaving a 3-second pause for you to repeat exactly what I just said. Go.
I hope you repeated it. Now, when you give me the pivot response, I'll say it and then you repeat it. Yeah, it's perfect weather to stay in and read. What kind of books are you interested in? Okay, your turn. I'm leaving a pause for you right now.
That was a long one, but it's such a good pivot.
It is. I hope you spoke out loud, because speaking aloud builds muscle memory. It validates your effort. You did a great job.
And notice how that pivot worked. You acknowledged the rain, but you immediately changed the topic to books. Brilliant.
It saves the conversation every time.
Speaking of rain, though, there is a phrase about weather that you probably learned that makes native speakers secretly cringe. We're tearing down our final myth next.
This directly links to the weather small talk. It's the most infamous weather idiom in ESL history.
The demise of raining cats and dogs.
Oh, wow. Raining cats and dogs.
Using raining cats and dogs is like wearing a tuxedo to the beach.
A tuxedo at the beach. I love that analogy.
I mean, sure, it's technically a valid outfit, but everyone is going to stare at you. It's one of the first idioms learned, but native speakers rarely say it in real life.
They really don't. And it completely ruins your ability to speak fluently. That's a B2 word. Fluently means speaking smoothly and easily. When you drop a heavy, outdated idiom into a sentence, you break that fluency.
It sounds like a cliche. Cliche is a C1 word. It means a phrase that is completely overused and lacks original thought.
Let's use a B2 phrasal verb here, catch on. To catch on means to become popular.
Right, so we can say this idiom caught on in textbooks, but it died out in reality.
Exactly. But,
Right.
learners still love using it. There's a psychological comfort in idioms. It feels like you unlocked a secret code.
Yeah, it feels like a power-up in a game. I know a metaphor.
But simple and accurate is always better than complex and outdated.
So what's the alternative? What do native speakers actually say?
They just say it's raining really hard or it's pouring.
It's pouring. So simple, so much better than the tuxedo at the beach. We've covered all 7 myths, but I promised you a bonus rule that will tie everything together, and that is coming up right now.
The bonus rule. This is the secret to sounding truly authentic.
You stuck with us, so here is your bonus. Instead of using forced idioms, use modern phrasal verbs to express intensity.
Phrasal verbs are the lifeblood of modern English.
For example, instead of saying, I'm very busy, which is fine but a bit basic, say, I am completely swamped.
Swamped. That is such a good word. Let's explain that. To be swamped means to be overwhelmed with work or water, like a swamp.
Right. You're drowning in paperwork, you're bogged down in the mud. I can't go out tonight, I am completely swamped.
It's so descriptive and natural. And I want to add a final provocative thought here. Language is a living organism. Are you trying to speak the English of the past, preserved in a textbook, or the living, breathing English of the present? Go out and listen to how people actually speak. Question the rules.
I love that. Question the rules. All right, it's time for your homework. We want to see your progress. I want you to go down to the comment box right now and write, I am consistent, so we know you made it to the end.
Yes. Show us you made it.
Also, use one key word or one idiom we explained today in a full sentence in the comments. Let us check your work. Did you like swamped or phase out? Put it in a sentence.
We'll let your feedback down there too. Tell us which kind of topic do you want for the next video?
Definitely. Do hype this video up if you liked it. Hit that like button, share it with a friend who is learning English, and subscribe.
And hey, if you want to read an amazing article about English learning, go into the description box.
Yes, there. I have provided a link. If you subscribe just once, you will receive free English articles directly in your email for free every single time.
That's an awesome resource. And if you enjoyed this podcast, this deep dive, there are many more on my channel. Go check them out and binge watch your favorites. Keep focusing on your language learning, speaking, and listening.
Thank you for joining our deep dive today. Keep practicing, keep speaking, and we will see you next time.